Good day. I'm Thom Nealssohn, and I'm the chairperson of the 2020 Taking the Next Steps, Our Journey to Generosity campaign. As we approach Taking the Next Step Sunday, let me share a little bit more about how I am considering God's call to be a disciple in generosity. The goal of taking the next steps for each of us is to prayerfully consider God's leading in the use of our financial resources God has entrusted to us. On Sunday, May 31st, it's my hope that everyone will respond by completing an estimated giving card, sharing the amount God is leading you to give to God's work through our parish. Even if you feel God is leading you to put a 0 on the card, please know that that decision will be honored and respected. I've asked you to spend the last few weeks focused on generosity, how we've been blessed by God. Part of our discipleship journey is coming to recognize that the God we serve is a God of abundance. This recognition offers us an opportunity to trust, to move from just understanding to believing that God will continue to provide as he has before. I continue to be astounded at how God demonstrates his care for me. Sometimes it's just bringing the right person to me exactly when I need that interaction, or an invitation to lunch on the day I left my wallet sitting at home on the counter and I'd planned to skip that meal. More often, it's the little things that buoy my spirit. A kind word, a small act, things that often seem insignificant, but meet me exactly where I am and fill a need I often didn't even realize I had. For me, my journey to generosity began by exploring. Exploring starts with being intentional in giving, a first step. It's purposely planning to give, setting aside money in recognition that God takes care of me and that I can follow in Christ's path by generously sharing some of my abundance with those who don't have that. Before becoming intentional in my giving, I'd given from what I had left over, what I had with me that day, or wasn't already spoken for. I've come to learn that God honors my intentionality and sacrifice, and my needs are met. I made a conscious decision to prioritize my giving to God. This was the next step in my journey to generosity. I've known for years that tithing is the biblical standard for giving. However, I couldn't bring myself to that place immediately. I don't know how I could stretch my budget to be that generous. I felt God's leading to do more than I was doing, though. I consciously began thinking about my giving in terms of a percentage of my income. Sometimes we can get caught up in the mechanics of generosity. How much should I be giving? Is it on my net or my gross income? Should it be weekly, monthly, annually? I've slowly come to learn that my gift is giving back to God. God understands the intention of my heart. So the details and the mechanics are secondary. What do I mean by that? Gift giving reflects my gratitude and affection for the recipient of the gift. When I give a gift, I don't fret about whether the gift will be perceived as been purchased on sale or over time, or even off the clearance rack. I trust that the recipient will recognize it is what it is, an expression of my love and caring for them. Thinking about my giving as a percentage of my income allowed me a reference for increasing my generosity. Each decision to give more requires me to trust God a little bit more. Tithing, giving 10% of my income, seemed like an impossible goal. But each time I was asked to estimate my giving, I recognized I could give just a little bit more than I had before. I chose to think about generosity in terms of weekly giving. A few more dollars every week seems a little more achievable for me, not as daunting as a monthly or an annual increase. In 2015, tithing became a priority for me. I was challenged by the stories I heard of others who made a conscious decision to tithe. I was prompted by God to trust more and to take the next step. It took 3 years from that point to get to a place where I was tithing. God continues to be faithful to me. I continue to look for ways to give back to God with my time and my talent, in addition to my treasure. In a community like ours, it's easy to make assumptions about how others live and give. As we've worked to reorient our focus around generosity, I admittedly did not know how we as a parish support the parish. As part of the vestry, I looked at the giving profile of the parish. Let me share that giving profile with you. Along the bottom of the chart are giving ranges. These are annual giving amounts. The bars represent the number of giving households, individuals or families, whose annual gift falls within that range. The chart reflects the 557 giving households who consider Christ Church their parish home. Take a moment and consider where you are on this chart. The first thing you may notice is that 301 households are listed as giving 0. This doesn't mean that there's no giving to the parish from these households, just that they've not chosen to associate their giving with their household. Taking the next step, maybe begin to explore being intentional in giving, associating with what you already give with your household. As you review the giving profile, I'd encourage you to think about how much you give to the parish in terms of a percentage of your income. To assist you with this, there's a second chart. This second chart you might find helpful. It's intended to help you determine where you are as a percentage of your income. Find your annual income on the left-hand side and move across the row to find your monthly gift. At the top of the column is a percentage. For instance, if your annual income is $70,000 and you give $350 per month, you are giving it 6% of your annual income. Consider if God is encouraging you to take the next step to grow in your generosity, or to begin deepening your discipleship journey by working toward a tithe. For those who are currently tithing, is God calling you to consider giving beyond a tithe? Both the giving profile and the plan for generosity growth are meant to be tools to help you consider where you are on the giving path and where God may be leading you. On Sunday, the 31st of May, you'll have the opportunity to complete an estimate of giving card like this one. This card is a statement of faith and a statement of intention. It's not a legal contract. It can be changed at any time, up or down, by contacting the business office. Please prayerfully consider how you'll respond. I'd encourage you to pray this prayer with me. Lord, where would you have me be in my giving? We serve an abundant God, one who is able to do more than we can ask or think. As we approach taking the next step Sunday, join me in considering how we can give back to God our gifts to show our affection and gratefulness for all that we've been given.